Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're on this Friday morning, Friday the 13th. January is almost halfway over. Let's take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew. We're looking at a high today. We're going to get up to 57. It's going to be a cool day. Low tonight, 36. Be a good night to have a fire. It really will be. I know some of y'all will. Hope a lot of y'all get to enjoy some good real fires around our Panhandle area. Water temperature at the end of the pier still at 66. And it's going to be could be some good fishing off the pier soon. River readings of I don't have them this morning. I know they're high. Okay, we talked about it yesterday. I don't have the exact reading this morning, and we'll get back to you next week. But both rivers are high, but they're falling out a little bit now, and especially temporarily falling out. But then the rain has added to the Choctahatchee. That's why we don't have it right now. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Looking on today's tide, not much movement at all. But look at tomorrow, no movement. It's just flat out flat tomorrow. We're looking at technically the low is going to be at 8:46 and a high at 4:51 this afternoon. Let's go and do our fish and game times today, so we can take care of it instead of doing it during the fishing report. We're looking at a low at 3:21. I'm sorry, times 3:31 and 5:31. A 2-hour block. If you're like me looking at your game camera, these deer are coming in all kind of different times. It's interesting to correlate that with the movement and the game times. This afternoon, we're looking at 1:52 to 3:52. So that's our time. So be aware of it. Wind will be coming out of the northwest at 16. This one was southwest or northwest. So here we go. We'll take a break. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at some pictures been sent to us. Let's start off with this one. This is a cute one. I love this. Kaylin Lisa Meyer Cobb sent this. She was she said, went fishing today, and me and my husband didn't catch a thing, but your little girl caught this nice shell cracker. Look at that big old smile on her face. Is that not telling all? She's out fishing mom and dad. Thank you, Kaylin, for sending that. Better luck next time. Okay. John Van, folks, I'm going to talk about later. These redfish have been doing well this last couple of weeks. John Van went out with Kenny Zediker, one of those St. Andrew boys, the Zediker family who used to build boats down there in St. Andrew. So good red fishing right there, John. Nick Tramontano, he threw his net the other day. He caught a bunch of little silver mullet. The reruns are coming back in. Especially in January, there's really a lot of activity with the mullet coming back into the bay. Nick Tramontano. Here's a good idea for a tree stand. If you can't get in a tree, just sit a cab on top of one of those base stands. That's I guess I don't know how they're gonna get out of it. I couldn't find a ladder. But okay, here Dan Wells. I just wanted to show that Dan's one of our viewers. Remember, he started down in Tulogi when he was preaching down there and getting a doctoral degree at FSU, then moved back home to Indiana. He sent a lot of pictures, but look, he is now kicking off a new semester at Duke. So we got he has an opportunity to teach there. So we have one of our viewers, he's up in Indiana now, but working at Duke. So one of our viewers is a professor at Duke University. I'm proud of you, Dan, but I know you're gonna keep up all the outdoor activity. Okay, Dave sent this. Hey Winston, it was such a great weekend. My wife and I went camping this past weekend, and we done a little catfishing at the same time. The moon was full and bright. Owls were hooting. The coyotes were calling, and the buttercats were chewing. Here's my wife Jane with a few of the catfish we caught. Now he described it well. Down on the river, those what they call buttercats, they taste great and they're fun to catch. I know y'all had a good time, and I don't know what y'all use for bait, but y'all sure did a good job with it. And I know you enjoyed doing it. Thanks for sharing that with our viewers. And that's a good way to describe it. The older I get, the tighter companies are putting the lids on jars. Some of y'all can identify with that. This offers the car when Travis Basford was on early a couple days ago. He brought this as the case of the month, and I'm going to talk more about this a little bit later. But this is what he called a night hunter. They got the deer and they got the gun. But what I'm going to concentrate on, see that red object there? That's what he call your night vision scopes, and that's what these outlaws are using now. It's high tech, really. It costs a little bit of money, but you can sit in the stand and the deer walks out at 11 o'clock at night, which is probably what happened here. So this is what we're up against, and they're making a lot of cases. They're smarter than the crooks give them credit for. Our game warden do a really good job with that. I just wanted to share that with you, and we're going to stay on top of that. And I've heard all kinds of stories already this year. This is a good story. This is from Michael Buggs. Okay, let's read it together. I recently watched an episode where you talked about these herded turpentine pots. Had I not watched that day, I would not have known what I was looking at. I found this one intact in the Choctawhatchee River swamp yesterday. So here it is right here. That's a turpentine pot that we've talked about several times on the show. Most of the time, you're going to find them broken. For one made like that, they're so easy to break and still intact. Michael, that's a great job there, finding that and being able to preserve it. Like I said, 90-something% of them are broken up in the Choctawhatchee River swamp. Our buddy David Gilmore, hey coach, all right, here we go. I got 2 7-pointers on the 7th. 777, lucky number. With God, all things are possible. Here, this is, let me see. There's a better picture of it right here. 2 7-pointers on the same day. Okay, good job, David Gilmore. He's been watching the show since we started Panhandle Outdoors. Good hunter there. One more real quick. This comes from the Choctawhatchee River fishing. Holmes Creek. We've been talking about Holmes Creek the other day, and they're catching them on. Look at the lure on the right-hand side of that picture, little jig head. Okay, that's a good color in these creeks up here. A little twitch tail, and a little slip bobber on that. Good job. Okay, that takes care of our pictures. Let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're talking about bears, all over the place. But now, how about Callaway? John Buffman sent this little video of a big bear over in Callaway. So let's see if we can get it going, Jeff. Here we go. Look at that trash can. Boom. And what's that bear doing? Knocked the trash can over. Now he's sort of blank out a little bit, but he's going to come back in just a second. And he's shooing the bear off is what he's doing. So then the bear hears him and he starts running around the house. So John, thank you for saying that. One more time real quick at the beginning. It turns the trash can over. That's Callaway, folks. That ain't in the woods. So all you folks in Callaway, be aware of the bear. And if they want to eat garbage, go ahead and let them eat garbage. We've got to add some names, and real quick, how about, if I don't get your name in this week, we're a little behind on it, so just be patient with us. Okay, Jim Blythe, Panama City Beach. Michael Getz, Panama City Beach. Liberty Getz, Panama City Beach. Kathy Strickland, Grand Lagoon. And Mina Johnson and Rodney Johnson, I'm assuming they're local. And Richard Strickland, Grand Lagoon. Slim Tiller, Deer Point Lake. Tanis Khalil, been with us a good while. Tanis, over there towards Santa Rosa Beach. Dion Khalil, Inlet Beach is where they are. Sonia Wiley, Mariana. Gene Vaughn. Okay, and Mark Vaughn. Gene Vaughn and Mark Vaughn. Sandra Fitzgerald and Mike Fitzgerald, Panama City Beach. Adam Taylor, Panama City Beach. We've got a lot of beach people. Margaret Taylor, PC Beach. Greg Taylor, Panama City Beach. And Sheila Miller. Okay, that's what I have now. And how about Cliff Tiller? Cliff, I'm going to add your name. I know you called me on the phone while I was driving, and I wrote it down. See, I did remember. Okay? So we're going to do our draw in just a little bit. Let's get on a video here, a little 4-minute video. If you remember the other day, we were talking about the sand fleas, and technically they're a mole crab, but locally we call them sand fleas, and they're not in pods. Someone talking about they found a pod. They're called colonies, okay? But now I was talking about how I'm about at a point now where I'm just going to stay with fish bites, and because that's just what I want to do. I feel like I want to do that. But I ran across, I was thinking about it the other night, I pulled out my old video, one of the first ones I showed about how to catch sand fleas. And it's a good 4-minute video. It tells you exactly what to do. And if you want to catch them, it's not illegal to catch them. If you want to catch them, fine. If you want to eat them, they eat them in Thailand. What they do, I looked it up, they pan fry them. They take them and they put them in a pan and they stir them up in a shallow pan and pan fry them. And they said, someone mentioned how it tastes somewhere between a crab and a shrimp, which makes sense. So if you get hungry, so go get your mess of those and cook them up. They might be a little chewy, unless you get them well done. All right, so anyway, I want to show this video just for, I think you'll enjoy it. It's a good video, and it's one of these how-to videos, how to catch sand fleas. So Jeff, let's roll it.
Okay, we're on the beach today. We're going to show you how to catch sand fleas. And it's funny, the other day I talked about it in the studio, and the lady, Sue, in the control room thought sand fleas, these little things on a dog, but listen, they're great bait. So we're going to show you how to catch them. Remember, we're going to look for it. First of all, they all have antennas, and they come up out of the sand. They're hard to find, but remember, they're in clumps. They sort of in families, or colonies maybe. And we'll go down beach and show you. Basically, the only equipment you're going to need is this little wire basket right here. Very simple. This came out of my wife's kitchen. We used to cook French fries in it. We don't eat French fries anymore, so we just use this just for sand fleas. So this is really only equipment. So we're going to sort of scoop them up under the sand. So come on. Okay, what I'm going to do, we look at when the waves are coming back in. You may not see it now. There's a little group of them sort of right down in there. They're coming up as the waves go back in. I'm going to run down there and point them out to you, and then before I try to get any. Go right there. Notice what they'll do. They go right back. They go right back in the sand. What we do, we catch about 4 nice big ones right here. It'll be good bait. Let me take one out and show you what they look like. Okay. That's a sand flea right there. I'll put them on the ground. I'm gonna show you how fast they are. Okay. Then they dig into the sand. They'll dig into the sand. You'll lose them if you're not careful. They have little antennas on them. They'll play possum on you too. See the antenna right there? We'll let this go in the sand. I'll watch you dig. We may have lost him. Right there. See the little antennas right there? That's sort of what you look for. That's how they actually how they eat. He's going deeper. He's going deeper, but he's still there. See him right there? Okay. Great sand flea. Right there. Good pompano bait. We're going to talk about some more in a minute. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not a bad scoop right there. There's all the antennas coming up, and these are good, healthy ones this time of year. One thing I like to do, if I find a female with the eggs, I don't know if you can see the yellow part inside here. Okay, that's a female, and she's starting to have some eggs. I usually turn around and let these go back. I'm gonna release this one back in the surf. We need to say this be like having a big bass you catching with some eggs in it. So we're gonna let that one go. This also how they dig. This, don't get this protrusion. See how they dig so fast right here? We're gonna let this mommy go. Okay, now once you catch a few, you wanna be able to keep them healthy. And what you do now is put them in a small bucket of sand. If you can see these right here, have a little bit of wet sand. These are some I just caught on that last scoop. They're pretty lively. I just dump them in there. I got a couple little ones. I'll let them go. You can see how they'll dig up into the sand and they'll stay safe. And one thing you do not want to do, a lot of people make this mistake. You put water in here, they'll actually drown. They can't really stay in the water the whole night. So I can keep these today and fish with them, and keep them overnight and fish with them tomorrow, and they'll stay healthy. The ones that don't use, I sort of let go. Well, Panhandle Outdoors on St. Joseph Peninsula, how to catch sand fleas. See you later.
Welcome back, folks. Let's take a look at our Friday fishing forecast. Before we do that, let's do our drawing. All right, the winner of the $20 gift certificate to Tarpon Dock in the second week of the year is going to be, okay, from Panama City, Chris Walding. Okay, and the winner of the Big Red Snapper is going to be from Panama City, Edsel Swearingen. There you go, Edsel. I know what y'all gonna be eating this weekend. Okay, try to pick it up today, or either you can get it first part next week. Look Clay up and tell Clay you're a winner. All right, let's look at our fishing, our famous Friday fishing forecast, and I sort of it changes every Friday because of the weather, and the weather changes on a regular basis. So what we have now, we have neap tides in the bay, and we have high water on the river. That's something that outdoorsmen sort of have to deal with, and it's just part of it. So I was taking those last night and trying to figure things out. On the creeks and all, the creeks on the upper end of those feeder creeks should be in really good shape. They're not going to be that high, but they'll be pushed up some. But as they empty into the big rivers, that's going to be some good catfishing there. And you saw the picture earlier of those butter cats over on the Choctawhatchee River. The Choctawhatchee River should be in really good shape. Here we go, right here. The Choctawhatchee River. As it comes in, all of Choctaw Bay is just a special area. But all the little fish camps there. Okay, right in this area, right in here. And Bunker up in that area, way on up into here. That's just some good areas right there. So anyway, the big thing about fishing in Choctawhatchee is you're going to have moving water, and you want to find where those eddies are, or it's going to be high this weekend. Same way on the big river on Apalachicola. Freshwater fishing, what I would do would be hit some of these ponds. I saw some pictures this week of some good fish caught. I didn't show them, but the good fish caught out of some of these ponds and lakes in the Panhandle. So that's been really good. Don't forget to stop by the Weewaw Wiggler and you got fresh crickets, you got really good earthworms and redworms, and you got some good crappie minnows, and they keep that water circulating really warm right there. Okay, getting on fresh water, that's what I would do, to hit the ponds and try to catch some catfish. That's the big thing this weekend. On the saltwater, shallow water, what we call inshore, the redfish have been remarkable, honestly, because I mention it every week. The red fishing has been real good, because one of the things, the water's been clear, and a lot of sight fishing is going on. And you think, how does it happen in January, sight fishing? So December and January, we've had really clear water, and it's been real good. The redfish, I've talked to people, they're in 1 to 5 foot of water, okay, 1 to 5 foot, and you get around at patches of grass and then find some sandy spots, and that's where they are. Same way that if you want to hit your trout, you got to go ahead and get them the next couple of weeks, because they're going to close in February, the trout season. But there's been some good catches, especially down in the Apalachicola River where it comes out. We'll talk about that a lot. Down at East Point, upper end right here. The upper end of the Apalachicola River system is just full of so many areas. We've talked about it before, Whiskey George Creek and the different bayous, Buzzard Bayou, Rabbit Point, Camel Point, all these places. But on this stuff, you just got to go and go do it. Go down there and just spend time doing it. Find you some places to go. Put your boat in the same place and go the same route and find them. I mean, people get on social media now. Tell me exactly where to go and what time I need to go. Okay, it's not. That takes away a lot of fun, folks. It really does. It takes away the challenge. We talked about it before. So just go out there and do it. So the lower end of Apalachicola is going to be good. Again, the Taylor family did real well for about 2 weekends in a row. Now, let's go over here to East Bay. East Bay, I'm going to skip St. Joe Bay. I'm not getting very many reports from St. Joe Bay right now. I'm not saying they're not catching fish. I know in the surf, they're catching some whiting. In fact, I saw where a guy called it limited whiting. Then I saw where another guy, I don't know if he knew what to do, but he didn't catch anything. So that's fishing. But surf fishing is still decent right there. But anyway, St. Joe, let's go over here to East Bay, right here on East Bay. Again, the sheephead bite is going to be really good. We talked about East Point last week, fishing off the bridge there. I want to talk about fishing around Tyndall. The Tyndall Bridge there is going to be good for sheephead. But up here around the Sandy Creek area and Callaway Bayou should be really good on catching some redfish, okay? And West Bay should be good too. About to run out of time. Find you some structure. If you want to do some homework for some good spring fishing, take you a little depth finder out there and find some structure and have your own little secret spot and mark it down. Electronics are amazing is what you can do, especially if you're going to fish that area for a good period of time. So finding structure in the bay system or even near shore. There's just a lot of places out there where some structure is, okay? And don't forget to find those oyster bars. There's an oyster farm out in the West Bay. Oyster bars are prevalent in Apalachicola Bay and some good structure in Choctawhatchee Bay. So find those areas and then start fishing them at different times with tide going in, tide going out, okay? Those are just little things that you do to make yourself a better outdoorsman. The hunting, the deer hunting, we're in the rut. So keep that, tell everybody, call their friends up. We're in the rut now, let's go, because we are. Got to wrap it up. We appreciate y'all watching Panhandle Outdoors this week. Got a big show all next week. On Monday's show, we're going to have duck hunting, and then Tuesday, I'm going to let Bill come in and talk a little bit. So have a great weekend, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.